Hello students, welcome back to the session on Python, Unit 4, Introduction to Python. In the previous session, we had seen what are the different features of Python, who invented Python. It was invented by Guido van Rossum in 1989 and then it was later released around 1991. All the shortcomings of the language ABC were overcome in Python. Apart from that, we saw why Python became so popular because of its terse code, that is brief code. Readability was increased and there was a use of a white spacing. Apart from that, the features such as dynamic typing, wherein you need not specify the type of the variable to be declared, while automatic memory management was another feature. You need not worry about freeing the memory, it will take care of itself. And then of course the features of object-oriented programming languages which were incorporated along with the structured programming. There was mixed features of structured as well as the object-oriented programming. So these were the features. Of course, apart from that, the standard library, it has a vast standard library. That is, you can write an application right from the scratch, that is using simple mathematical scientific calculation, to the level of the applications, commercial applications, which could be banking application, or it could be software development, or it could be artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on. So all the libraries almost are available in case of your Python. Nevertheless, we also saw how to download from the websites, and we saw how to install it in the Windows, and we installed the Thonny, that is the base for the basic level of programming. We can use Thonny. We will quickly go through those links which we had seen earlier. So these were the sites which were shown to you, the links. You can download Jenny from python.org, or we had downloaded this thonny.org from this site, thonny.python. We had installed. Apart from that, you can use this for the professional and community developers, JetBrains or the Anaconda, which is quite heavy software. These are the lightweight in terms of the memory and the other aspects. Now, if you are intending to install it in the Linux environment, those who have the operating system as Linux, for them also I have some tips here and some downloads which they can use it. So this is the site that is python.org. You can visit this site and download the Linux or Unix version. For those who have the operating system as the Linux, or like for example Ubuntu and so on, the brands, whichever it may be, but Linux is the base operating system. For that, you can just go to this link and download this Linux /Unix. Then this is the documentation downloaded for you. These are the steps which tell you how to install Python under Linux. So you can go through these steps and you can see that quite self-explanatory. You just have to follow them. And let me just remind you that when you work in Linux, you have a terminal there. And when you go to the terminal, you need to ensure that it is not just running the tar file. Generally, you get a tar file for Linux version, that is for Python. And whenever after installing the tar file or unzipping it, you need to still work on other aspects, that is open the terminal and go to the Windows and log in as root. Root is a super user or the administrator, and then type this sudo apt -get install, and whatever libraries you want to install, those will be specified, like one of the library you can see here, SQLite, or for that matter if you're working with pandas, if you're working with any other sklearn and so on, so you can install all those libraries here. So this is another thing you got to remember with the Linux kind of installation. And of course the other things are given there. You can configure the thing and you should be a root user. So this document will be shared with you, so you can go through this Linux version also. So today in this session, with that understanding of Python features and the software that we have, let us start writing programs which are basic in nature. But again, let me tell you that unlike C, we are not going to go through the details of each and every token here, but we'll try to understand the basic components of Python which are required. Now to start with, let us understand, that is, when I say Python program, it is also called as a script, because you know Python is a high level scripting general purpose language. And this allows us to solve different problems. That is, of course, the basic problems we can use the scripting structure, wherein you can make use of basic editors. Now the instructions which are given are also called a script, and any file that you save it in Python will be .py, or I will have an extension .py. Like in C we have .c, here in Python we have .py. Now as you know that we need not go into the declaration part and so on, but there is something wherein you need to know as far as the command line options are concerned, that is the prompt is concerned, command prompt. That is, you can even work in Windows or Unix using the command prompt. This is generally the command prompt, that is this is a file wherein the Unix commands are cat, that is it will show you the content of the file, and it is saying print hello world, or python hello.py, the file which is created, and the interpreter name is Python is specified here, hello world, and it displays the corresponding list. Quickly let us try to see what exactly is the command prompt of Python. So you need to go to the Windows run and then type cmd, and when you press enter you get this screen. All that you have to do is just type the name of the interpreter Python and then press enter. You get this prompt. You can see here the prompt is shown on the left hand side, and now here you can directly type the command or the instructions, I would say properly. Welcome to Python world. So when I type this, I would get the same output whatever is written here. So that means the interpreter mode, directly I can use it in the interactive mode by typing each and every line. This is one way of doing it, but it is not very user friendly feature. So let us try to use the editor itself. This is just for your understanding that this option is also available. Slide explains you the same thing, that this is the prompt, and the cat hello shows the file hello.py. So with this note, let us try to understand today what is the meaning of a variable and what are the different values you can assign. Of course, expression we will cover if time permits. Now when we say a variable, you know that the definition of a variable will not change, whether it is a C language or any other language. You know that it is an identifier given a name to it, so that it can be assigned a value. A little bit differently we'll see it, that what Python says is an identifier name that refers to a value, and assignment statements creates a new variable and gives it a value. Now in this case you need to understand that unlike C, we need not declare a variable here. Moment I say x equals 10, that means I am trying to declare a variable of type that is integer, which is automatically known to the compiler. You need not separately go and declare it. So whenever I'm assigning a value, that is x equal to 10, so it means that a variable of that gets created. So that is what is the meaning of assignment statement. Creates a new variable and gives it a value. Now let us try to understand this with respect to actual variables. Now let us assume that this is a variable here, message equals welcome to the world of programming, enclosed in single quotes. And let me highlight again emphasize the important part as far as single quotes and double quotes is concerned. Now unlike C, again single quotes and double quotes have the same meaning in Python, whereas in case of C we have a different meaning, because single quotes means a single character or a literal string literal, whereas in case of Python it means the same, whereas in double quotes means the string in C, whereas in Python again it means the same. You can enclose a single quotes character or a string, it has the same. So single quotes and double quotes are not differentiated by the interpreter. Now with this, let us try to have another variable called as yan, and let us assign a value of 21. Now we have another variable here called as pi, which is assigned 3.14 and so on, with more than 6 decimal places. You can have as many number of decimals you want. So we have 3 different variables. One is storing integer, one is storing string, and another storing floating point number. Now when I want to print these values, I would just have to say go to the prompt, and then I have to say print message, print bracket, you can see here print bracket message, and it would print the welcome to the Python world of programming. On the same lines, I would do the same thing with print n, then it would print the value of 21 and so on till the value of pi which is printed. But now let us understand how Python really understands internally that this is integer or this is a floating point number. Even that can be checked out by using what is called as a type. Now let us understand the type of variable is a type of the value it refers to. Now if I want to see its type, and if I type print bracket type of message, in the earlier case we had used message, so if I want to say type bracket message and print it, then what do I get? So you can see here I get the name of the class to which it belongs, class str. So this is how Python will automatically treat that as a string. That is, everything is in object oriented, so that's why you get the name as class. You need not worry because it supports both the things. So you just have to understand that it belongs to the class string. On the similar lines, if I say print type of n, then I would get it as an integer, as you must have guessed it, and that is called as class int. And similarly, if I say print type pi, then I would get class float. Now quickly we'll go and try to do the same exercise, put it in the editor and see what happens. Let us assume that there is a file here, demo.py. We will try to create a file called as demo.py, or you can create one file by saving it as .py. Now how do I create a file? Even I will show you the option here. Just have to click this, and let us say that I will try to paste this same thing here. Now let us say I have typed this, and now I will save this, and I can save it to the drive. Let us say Python. You can give the name here as demo1.py under Python programs under D. And save. So I have written the same message welcome to the Python world of programming, and I want to have another variable that is n equals 21 and pi equals that value. I'll just copy that value. Now I have 3 variables here, message, n and py. Now let us try to print these values. Let's print message. Now I'll run this. So you can see there below part it is showing me error. Now please focus on this error. Invalid characters in identifiers, of course, and another is welcome to the world of C programming, it is showing an error. That means, now welcome to the world of Python world of programming. Now the error is, there are many reasons. One is, you can see here the single quotes is not this single quote, so you should have our programming single quote supported through the programming editor. Now if I execute this, even I can use F5 here. Now I get one more error which is very important for us to understand. See here it is showing you error from n equal 21, indentation error, unexpected indent. And this is what is you need to understand, that many a times you may be thinking that you can write a program any way you want, but it's not like that. You can see there is a spacing here which is added at the beginning. This space also creates a problem because you should be properly indenting, aligning the spaces. So there is no space when you start typing this. So remove this space and remove this space. Now it is fine. Now you can have the entire thing on one line. Apart from the other constructs like if, else, then we can see what spacing has to be there. For this, there is no such spacing at the beginning. So we just have to run this, and you can see the welcome to the world of Python world of programming is printed. Now on the same lines you can print the other things. I hope you understood the meaning of importance of spacing in this Python. Execute it for the remaining things. Now you can see all the three messages have been printed here. Now we'll see their respective types. Now the same message I have added here: print the type of the message, print the type of yan, and print the type of pi. Now when I run this, I should get their types. So you can see here class str, the first message belongs to, int n belongs to, and pi belongs to the float. So you can understand that this is how the Python assigns their types dynamically. Now with this note, I hope you have understood this session. We'll end this session now, and we'll continue the next part of understanding with Python. You can practice there, download it, practice it. Any questions, any queries, you can always float in. That's it for today. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a safe day.